Everyone thinks that Auburn's offensive line is going to be a strength this year.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing, Josh?
Doing good, man. Just was it less than 100 days till football's back? And
Yes, sir.
It's going to be the longest 100 days ever.
Well, right now, Auburn baseball is actually playing really well. Just made it to the Super Regional. So I'm kind of, enjoying that. I don't pay attention to baseball that much, but anytime in the postseason we're starting to do good, I'm obviously going to pay attention and wish them nothing but the best because, hey, they're all Auburn players. So, but hopefully that takes up some time between now and then. But I agree, 100 days is going to be a long time. It's going to be a long 100 days. So, but Josh, we are going to be talking about Auburn's offensive line room after the spring. We got
big uglies.
We got a few additions coming in, transferring in, and we really didn't lose too many people that are going to be, contributors this year. Before we jump into that, though, let's remind everybody, if you are going to be getting any Auburn gear, use our affiliate link below. And it helps us out a lot going to fanatics.com through that affiliate link. So, Josh, jumping right in, we have before the spring, we had a couple of transfers in Xavier Chaplin and Mason Murphy coming in. Xavier Chaplin being the number one offensive tackle in the transfer portal, and depending on who you talk to, Mason Murphy a prized addition. Well, what are you thinking?
I would definitely say he's a prized possession. I think he's going to start. I don't think there's any question. He transferred in to start. I mean, he's 6'7", 338 pounds. It doesn't get much bigger and uglier than that. He's a big guy, big body that's going to be on the field. And so I really do think Xavier Chaplin is going to come in and start.
Well, yeah, no, Xavier Chaplin for sure. Mason Murphy, I don't know where I stand on him. I don't think he is going to start. I think it's going to be Xavier Miller. I know a lot of people weren't fans of Too Tall last year, but whenever he left the game, he was injured a lot. Let's just be honest. But whenever he left the game, it always seemed like Peyton Thorne
our drives would die.
Notice. Our drives would die. And so I don't think he was great all the time, but he was definitely better than our next option. So I don't know, is Mason Murphy going to be better than Xavier, or is he at least going to be a step up from what we had last year to where he can come in whenever Xavier gets hurt or needs a break? I hope we're in a better position on that front.
Well, I would think Mason Murphy, because he is a little bit bigger than Too Tall. I think Murphy could be more of like a insertion piece for like a third and short when we desperately need to get the yardage. They use some bigger bodies in there to push the yardage, like a tush push type deal. I don't know. He's definitely going to see playing time. There's just no doubt about that. We need all the offensive lineman help we can get. But in my eyes, the starters are set, and I don't see Mason Murphy on that starting list.
That's interesting. So you think it's going to be Too Tall on the other side?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, which is where I am as well. Now, interior-wise, Connor Liu did not practice during the spring. He was recovering from surgery, which we all know what we got in him. Connor Liu was one of the best offensive centers in the country last year, top 5, if I remember correctly, according to PFF grades. So we know where we are interior-wise because we got Dylan Wade on one side and we got Jeremiah Wright on the other, who we presume is going to be the other starter.
Yes.
Dylan Wade is probably a shoe-in at one of the guard spots this year. But outside of Connor Liu, who do you think is possibly going to be the leader in the room or along the line?
Aside from Connor Liu?
Yeah, because I think Connor Liu is just anytime your center is your natural leader because he's calling out protections. He's traditionally speaking, your center is going to be one of your leaders. And I think that we saw that from Connor, and the fact that they took him to SEC Media Days last year as a sophomore. So I think he is by far the leader along the offensive line. So it's hard to move away from that. But outside of him, are we going to have other leaders, you think? So guys that we can rely on to kind of hold everybody together or hold everybody accountable?
I don't know if we're going to have any other generals on the offensive line. I think we'll have a couple lieutenants, but when it comes to generals, I really don't see anyone else taking that role other than Connor Lew, because the dude knows what he's talking about. He knows his assignments. He knows the entire offensive line's assignments, and that's just the guy that everyone's going to be turning to. But if I had to guess, if I had to, pick a captain aside from the general, it would probably be Dylan Wade.
Okay.
I would say Dylan Wade has been pretty, like, every time I saw him on the camera last year on the field, he was pretty vocal with the other guys. He's pretty vocal with the quarterback and the coaches and what he saw. I don't know if you saw the same thing, but I saw Dylan Wade being that kind of vocal leader, but Connor Lew was easily by far and away the guy that everyone wanted to, consult with.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Dylan Wade is definitely an option. I want to see what Xavier Chaplin can do. I mean, this guy could be a first round offensive lineman next year. And anytime you have that kind of dog in you, you're going to be a vocal, or you can be a vocal leader. I don't know if he is. I'm interested to see if he is when it's all said and done, to be perfectly honest. That's who I'm wondering. That's just the leadership ability.
All I care about with him is if he is going to be a, better player and better fit than what's his friggin' face from Mississippi State 2 years ago. That guy, he was really big, he was really ugly, but he was the sorriest SOB offensive lineman I think I've ever seen. Stiffest feet. So as long as I don't see that, I will be happy. I don't even care if he's a leader.
Once the season was over, I just kind of pushed him out of my mind. And so I agree. I can't think of his name right now.
I can't remember his name.
Bother me. So, I agree. Any upgrade over that? I mean, basically, we put Dylan Wade in there at tackle last year, and he did far and away better than the Mississippi State transfer. So,
yes.
Xavier Chaplin should be a ginormous upgrade. He really should. Yes. I mean, he is. It's not a matter of questioning, hey, this guy has the potential to be great. He is. He was the number one lineman in the transfer portal for a reason. He scored over 70 on PFF and is one of the few players out there that just were amazing last year, to be perfectly honest. So, moving right along, do you think there's going to be a surprise along the offensive line? Or do you think it's going to kind of be chalk?
I would really, really like to see Dylan Cinda get a lot of snaps. And I would love to see him, prepare for next year, because he is the, supposed and that's who I think is going to be on the starting line next year would be Dylan Cinda. So I'm hoping he gets some reputable snaps this season so he can start to build on that foundation to be a player I think he can be.
Okay. Was it Tyler Johnson or DeAndre Carter that came in at left tackle at times last year? I'm trying to remember.
DeAndre Carter is a redshirt freshman, so he didn't play. I mean, if he played 1 or 2 games, and that's it.
Okay. He made his first career start at left tackle against Alabama A&M. And so I think he came in and he played in every game. And so, yeah, it was DeAndre Carter. Not DeAndre Carter. Jeez.
DeAndre Carter's redshirted.
Tyler Johnson. My bad. It was Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson came in and stepped in. And so I think he has the potential. That's a left tackle
if I've ever seen one.
Right. I think he has the potential to push Too Tall and maybe Murphy on the offensive line and could crack the 2 deep at least, and maybe even before the end of the season take the starting position, because I liked what I saw from him. I mean, he was still a redshirt freshman last year, and so there were times where he looked a little lost. He was definitely an upgrade of what was out there at left tackle, but I think he could surprise some people because not very many people are talking about him. Everybody's talking about Mason Murphy as the other guy, or Too Tall. And I think that we could see more of Tyler Johnson.
I would like to. I think he definitely has a lot of upside. And I also think that DeAndre Carter has a lot of upside. I really liked him signing with us last year. And I really think that he can do a lot of things, but that tackle room was so loaded, and it still is so loaded, that he really didn't get the chance to come in and do what he needed to do. But I think him redshirting and having another spring under his belt going into the fall is really going to help propel him forward into being a future starter and potential 2 deep this season. So Tyler Johnson, DeAndre Carter, and Dylan Cinda, I would just love to see those 3 guys get decent snaps this season. I don't care if it comes from a blowout against our cupcake games, but I just want to see them get, a decent amount of snaps this season.
Yeah. So other than potential pushing towards the end of the season as far as starters, we really think that the tackle position is the one, or probably just the left tackle as the one. Everything else seems pretty solidified as far as who our starters are going to be. But yeah, no, I agree. We'll see what DeAndre Carter can do. It's unbelievably difficult to come in as a freshman and make be a contributor along the offensive line.
What's your name? Is Connor Lew.
I was about to say, not everybody's Connor Lew. So yeah, so that didn't surprise me last year that we didn't see him. So okay, now overall, what are you going to expect out of our offensive line? Do you have high hopes for this group? Do you have high hopes for what we can do?
I have moderate expectations. I think we're in a better position, personnel wise, to where we're going to allow less sacks and less pressure on the quarterback. I'm more concerned about the running game. I feel like this offensive line is definitely geared more towards pass protection than run protection. I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong, because I love running the ball. But that is definitely my expectation this season, that we're definitely going to be more pass pro than run pro. And I just think we're going to have a better passing game because of it.
Now, to be fair, Connor Lew, Dylan Wade, and Jeremiah Wright graded pretty darn good in the run game last year, PFF. So I think we're going to be okay up the middle. I think there definitely was room for improvement last year, because there was times where it seemed like we could not get a push to save our life. But I agree. I think we should be less worried about the running this year along the offensive line than we are passing, because we're going to be passing a lot. We have the number 2 wide receiver core in the country behind Ohio State. And this offensive line group, I think, is going to do special things. I think this is our best offensive line group that we have had in a long time. I'm talking since maybe 2017, maybe. 2017 is just, we had such a great year running the ball, and Jarrett Stidham did a great job passing the ball, that you got to give some credit to the offensive line. But this offensive line is, according to PFF, is the 7th best offensive line in the country. All 5 players were starters last year at some point. All 5 players. And that includes and you can actually throw the top 6 players were starters last year. Mason Murphy started for USC. Too Tall started for us. So no matter who gets that position, they all started. If Tyler Johnson steps in, he started a game last year. So we have so much experience along this line, and I think that we are going to be in a good position. Now, I think also a lot of it has to do with what I saw in videos, and it's spring videos, I know, but what we saw from the quarterback getting the ball out of his hand, I don't think it matters if your offensive line
It doesn't.
is not blocking well. When those receivers were getting open, he was slinging the ball to them quickly. And so I think that we're going to be in a great position no matter what.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the fact that the quarterback gets the ball out of his hand really quickly whenever you brought up 2017 and Jarrett Stidham, because that was a large part of, the pass protection success in 2017. Jarrett Stidham made his reads and he made his decisions extremely quickly. And that's what I see out of Jackson Arnold. I think Jackson Arnold can do what Jarrett Stidham did in 2017 with a better receiving core. There's no doubt about that he has a better receiving core.
Yeah. This receiving core, I think all three positions, the receivers, the quarterback, and the offensive line, they're all going to help each other. It's going to be, I have high hopes for this year. I am right now.
Sounds like you're booging a little bit.
It's booging season, man. It's booging season. We got 100 days before the season. 1 week before the season, the sky is going to be falling. I'm going to think that we're barely going to beat Baylor, if not lose. So that's just who I am, man. But all in all, I have high hopes for this offensive line. I have high hopes for this team. And I know you have high hopes as well. You're playing it cool. You're keeping level-headed, which one of us probably should. And most of the time it's me, so it's kind of funny. But all in all, I can't say enough good things. Josh, before we go, remind everybody we want to use our affiliate link below. Go to fanatics.com for all your new Auburn gear. And with all of that being said, Josh, it's going to be a good season. Offensive line is going to be great.
A good one, man.
War Eagle, baby.
War Dame Eagle.
There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.